intelligence, right? So it is a computer program which will be able to mimic as humans intelligent. Then you may ask, you may get a doubt, what is neural network? So that is again whatever the job done by the human, whatever your brain does, that is mimicked by perceptron. That is about neural network. So here the knowledge, see the man, again the knowledge differs person to person. Okay. So when you identify someone as expert on a particular domain, see everybody cannot be expert on all the domain, right? So some people may be very good in mathematics, some may be very good at machine learning, some may be good at artificial intelligence, some may be good at cloud computing, IoT. Depending upon your interest, you may be expertise in that. You may learn a lot, you may do a lot of research in that, and you become an expert in that. So in that particular domain, whatever I ask you, whatever the information is needed, you will be able to provide. Such person or such system, we call it as expert system. So when we can call someone as expert, when he or she knows everything about it, we say somebody as expert. Okay. So here expert system is a computer program which will act as an expert. Like in a human being category, we say somebody as an expert. In the same way, whatever the knowledge that person is having, the same knowledge is transferred to the system. So then onwards, the system will be acting as that particular expert. Okay. So when I say why I'm again and again I'm telling, expert means cannot be expert on everything. One person cannot be expert on everything. So they may be very good at some or only one or few domains alone. In the same way, when I say expert system, I can create an expert system for a particular domain alone. So here when we talk about agriculture, so in the agriculture again various processes are there, various things are there where we need to do focus. Like it may be on the crop management, or it may be on the business side, or it may be about the nutrient, or it may be about the irrigation system, like for everything. Okay. So when one person is very good at handling a particular crop, we cannot say he will be very good at handling the other kinds of crops also, or the crops what you are growing in our region. Okay. So I am good at that now. I cannot say that I am very good at growing a crop which will grow in the cold regions. Get my point? So the expertise will vary field to field, domain to domain. So here too, when we are creating an experts here. So what is expert system in Agri? I think you have got an idea about what is expert system. So expert system is a computer program only. So which will be having the knowledge of an expert. When we say someone is an expert, whatever is the knowledge he is having, the same knowledge is induced to the system. Okay. So then onwards, that system will be imitating as that particular expert. Since expertise can be on only few domains, when I am creating an expert system, one expert system will not function for all the domain. So for each and every, when I am saying about plantation, for that I must have a separate expert system. Suppose it is going to be a animal husbandry. So for that I need to go for another expert system. Suppose I want to just take care of the health of the plant alone. I am not going to deal about the irrigation system or the seedling part or pest control, disease control. I am not going to deal about that. I only bother about the health of the plant. Okay. So suppose I am saying the expert system is a doctor system to that. So again the doctor can be paddy doctor separate, doctor separate, coconut doctor separate, because each tree or crop the requirement of every crop varies. Okay. So I will not, and even one more very familiar example I can give. The doctor to whom you are getting a treatment, same doctor will not be able to give treatment for the animals. Right? Both are doctors field. Okay, so for eyes, different field, for ear and nose, and for heart, and various domains are there. Right? So one cannot be very good at on the other field or other organs or other part of our body. You get my point? In the same way, when we talk about the planting or crop growth also, one system cannot be expert for everything. So for each part I need to have a separate expert system. So here what you need to know about the expert system. Normally any expert system we have something called knowledge base. Knowledge base. So this knowledge base is nothing but like a database. So when we are having a collection of data, we say that is a database. In the same way, when it is having a collection of knowledge on a particular domain, we say it is a knowledge base. Okay. So then this will be operated, or from this the data will be collected, or the knowledge will be acquired by the inference system. Inference system. Okay. And then you will be having a user interface. User interface. So first thing is we will just educate my system. So whatever the knowledge an expert is having, or whatever is required to treat my plant, or whatever you want to make your function, your system to do, all those knowledges will be fed to the database, which we call it as a knowledge base. So this will be having all the knowledge about a particular thing, and this is user interface. However, plant, whatever the requirement is there for the plant, accordingly the information will be provided from this end, so that it will be utilized for the plant growth. Okay, so this is in general of any expert system. Again, the name or the functions of all the three varies depending upon what kind of expert system we are creating. Fine. So this is based about expert system. Now, what are the benefits of going for expert system? Benefits of expert system in agriculture, whether really it is required or not. Expert system, yes. So just in the traditional farming system, when you say a particular pest or some insect has attacked the plant growth. Okay, so the person will not be able to properly diagnose whether it is an insect, pest, or kind of pathogen, what it is. So when I know properly, even our health issues also like that only. Unless and otherwise we are diagnosed properly, we will not be able to be treated properly. Correct? So if I am not diagnosed, I am having some pain somewhere in my body, so I should go to the right expert. Only then I will be able to diagnose. I may have a nerve problem, so instead of going to that specialist, if I am going to ortho, I will not be diagnosed properly. Okay, so it's like unless and otherwise you diagnose the problem properly, will not be able to treat it, which may not be 100% possible with the farmers, because farmers will not be having a extraordinary knowledge. They will only be functioning with their experience. Okay, so they see various things, and for so many years they are into that from their experience only. They will, sometimes it may work out, sometimes it may go wrong, due to which they may be under stress, they may face lot of loss. Okay, so to avoid that all only, there must be a proper system which can diagnose the problem, so that you will be able to troubleshoot the thing. Okay, so right, so that is the main benefit of that. So then we can see one by one. You need an expert system for the crop management. Crop management. So when I say crop management, what are all the things come to your mind? Crop management includes, what are all the things? I say in general crop management. What are all the things included? Yes? system, right? See, every day you may supply water to your plant, but you are not using the proper irrigation system, due to which you don't know the amount of water supplied to your plant. You think that you are every day supplying the water, but the thing is that that is not sufficient for the plant. If that is the case also, when it grows, when it is not able to give you right amount of yield only, you will realize there may be some problem. That is the reason it has happened. Okay, because you are not able to measure, you are not expert in that. Okay, or you may go and ask someone why it is not growing properly, why it is not giving yield. There again you are inheriting or you are getting knowledge from somebody else. So this knowledge transfer may happen on various level. Okay, so from a highly expertise person can give a knowledge to second body, and from there it may be transferred to a farmer, and from one farmer to another farmer also it may be. Sometimes when there is some revolution or as in the last class we discussed about plant growth model and all. Okay, so from that model your research and development people have invented something. Okay, they have tried a lot, so that they want to transfer or convey to the farmers. Directly a scientist will not come to a field and then say this is how you have to do. There will be lot of modes through which they will convey their knowledge to the field, right? So they will go to the next level, next like there is a hierarchy in that. Finally it goes to a farmer. Okay, because even in the field also they will not be able to call all the farmers and they will say. Okay, there will be some mode through which to one or an association of the farmers will be conveyed to the system. Then from them again, so another person or they are not part of that association. If that is the case, when they want to get some knowledge from the farmer, they can get it from these farmers, or this fellow may convey the thing to the other people. Generally this is the process. Okay, so here where I left, yeah, crop management. You may not be knowing whether my irrigation system what I am using is right or wrong, and in that case you may go and ask. Even in your subject or whatever it may be, when you don't know something to do, you will go and ask the people who know about it. Correct? In the same way here also, whatever it may be in the crop management, irrigation whatever it may be, like fertilizer supply weed control what kind of nutrients less what you need to supply, those kind of things, whatever it may be, everything comes under crop management. So for the better crop management, if there is an expert who can advise me, this will good for my plant growth. Okay. So second thing is crop selection and planning. Crop selection and planning. So based on my soil quality, based on my region, based on my budget, available resources with me, what kind of crop I can plant, right? So whenever you are going to buy something also, they'll ask you, even in the shop, manual offline shopping, if you go also, when you go and ask, they'll ask you what is your budget. Based on that only they will show, or what is your requirement. So like even if you are going to purchase this also, they'll ask it is for the regular purpose or it is a party day, something like that. Your requirement and your budget. Based on that only you will be able to, or they will be able to show the items. Same way here. So for your soil, with your budget, what kind of crop can be selected? What kind of crop can be planted? Those things can be advised by the expert system. Next, nutrient management. Nutrient management. So these things are in the existing system even now. So whenever you put a bore in your area, that water, or sometimes you find some difference in the water also. The water will be taken and that will undergo testing. Once the water plantation, and at that time nutrient will be checked, and then what kind of nutrient is required, which is more, which needs to be balanced, which needs to be provided additionally. All those advice will be given by another expert system. So for each things we use a different expert system. Next, coming to separately irrigation management. So irrigation management is a part of this. In addition to that, because it is a very important part of the plantation, so irrigation management and pest and disease control. Pest. So everything is good. Everything is good, and almost at the stage of vegetative stage, this is attacking pest or some other disease. Obviously, till the time whatever the growth was there with the plant, everything will go off. Okay, so that needs to be, and yeah, you have diagnosed there is a pest or some kind of disease, but if you don't know what disease it is, disease the condition, but what disease it is, only then we will be able to give a proper treatment over plants, that is proper nutrients or medication or something we add in the form of a fertilizer. Okay, so for that there will be a separate export system. Harvesting and post-harvest management. When to harvest, how to harvest. Okay, and then post-harvest. Once your harvesting is done, you need to supply some nutrients to your soil, and you need to give some rest to the land. Immediately you cannot go for the next plantation. Okay, so that next, economic analysis. Economic analysis. So for that also there will be an export system. As I mentioned, finally at the end of the day you have to go to the market and you have to get profit out of it. Okay, so for that also export system will be supportive. And one more thing, training and education. As I mentioned, seldom. So whenever a new system needs to be introduced by the policy makers, or as I mentioned, your research and development will give the idea to the next bodies, and then that will be that will go to the government, from the government through the officials, it will reach the farmers. Okay, so if that is the case, when a new system wants to be introduced, people need to get training. Okay, proper education must be given. Suppose a particular fertilizer is good, அப்படின்ற ஒரு decision எடுத்துக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா, to utilize that people must know properly. So for that they must be trained. They must have a proper education. Okay, it is not only for the fertilizer. To utilize anything, to introduce any system, farmers must have a proper training and education. அதுக்காக ஊருக்குள்ள போயிட்டு they cannot call some meeting and they need to do something. So how they are going to be educated, how the information will be conveyed to the farmers. So for that there will be a separate expert system. Yeah, in the horticulture field, various expert systems are there, like DSSKT, Google Panipana, so many systems are there. Okay, so each one will be having a separate function. I'll just list out only few among them, like plant/TM, which is diagnosis of weed. Okay, like as I mentioned, for each everything there will be a separate expert system. Okay, so I will just list out only few, like plant chamber. So chamber is another expert system, so which will be able to manage environmentally controlled crop. Environmentally controlled crop. So it will grow completely depending upon the environment. So such crops will be managed by this expert system. Then there is another expert system called COMAX. So this is utilized for cotton crop, and that's what, like I'm telling, right? So one export system cannot be utilized for all kind of crop. So for sugar cane, separate export system. For pan is separate export system. Cotton plant, separate export system. Like we will have a different export system for each kind of task or different kinds of crop. 20 minutes over. Huh?